and Talk Wednesday with your girl Jillian. If you're new here to this channel, how are you? My name is Jillian and welcome to Java and Journeys. More specifically, welcome to our Walk and Talk Wednesdays, where you get a chance to join me live from one of the Disney or Universal parks while we talk about the topics of the hour and just walk around, have a good time, get a good workout in. So I hope that your day is going well. And for our topic today, now, we could bounce off topic a little bit, but we are going to focus on the craziness that is reality TV. More specifically, I know I have some 90 Day Fiance fans out there. Now, I follow a lot of really cool content creators that do a lot of recaps like Jesky, Poe, The Potato, Boba Belly. There's like a lot of great content creators that recap 90 Day Fiance. And so for me, because the episodes are so long, I oftentimes will watch like several different types of recaps, all things reality, like shout out to him. And I will basically look through all of their recaps to understand like what's the latest and the greatest, because y'all, your girl is booked and busy. She works a full-time job and does this on the side. So we don't always have time to watch all the reality shows live. And also the whole intention behind my channel is to take you all along with me on my journeys that are caffeinated focused. I'm a huge coffee lover. And oftentimes because of that, I don't always have the time to sit down and go through a full episode. So it always helps to have our content creators help us out, right? So we're going to talk a little 90 Day Fiance, as well as there are other reality shows that you want to talk about during this live stream. Please feel free to do that. To show you all where we're at now, we are at the Flower and Garden Festival here at EPCOT. And this is actually around the area that I started at the 2 weeks ago. We had our live Walk and Talk Wednesday here. And y'all, like, I love EPCOT. EPCOT is my favorite Disney park here in Florida because it is a vibe. And especially when they have a festival going on, which typically EPCOT always has a good rotation of festivals. And I feel like it's just so relaxing. It's peaceful. It's calm. It is the complete opposite of like what you would expect out of Magic Kingdom, which I don't mind. My last Walk and Talk, if you happen to miss that, was at Magic Kingdom. So check that out, peep that out. We talked about Snow White and what people's thoughts are about the live action Snow White. Hey, what's up, Judy? If you all are also watching, my mom is on this live stream, so please be nice. Don't make me have to cut you on this live stream, okay? Be nice to me in the comments. How's it going? I know, and my sister here, you know, I just have the whole family is joining. So let's go ahead, let's get those walking shoes on. And for those of you all, maybe you're like, girl, I'm tired, it's been a long day, or I am still at work, I'm on break right now. No worries. Grab your favorite beverage of choice, enjoy the views, enjoy the conversation, and always drop down in the chat to interact. Tell me what you think. So to start off this walk and talk, we are going to go ahead and make our way through. And in the spirit of talking about crazy reality television shows, so if you are a 90 Day Fiance fan, there's so many different spinoffs. Drop down in the comments to let me know. And for the topic that we are going to talk about, you do not have to watch 90 Day Fiance because trust me, I'm curious about what you all think. So recently, they just wrapped up The Last Resort. If you're unfamiliar with 90 Day Fiance Last Resort, essentially, it is the couples that have previously been on 90 Day Fiance or maybe even one of the spinoffs like The Other Way. And they're on the last resort to save their marriage. So it's like, you know, the last resort, not only being on a resort, but because this is like their last attempt at fixing their relationship before calling it quits. So the season just wrapped up. Now they're doing I want to say 3-part reunion. And let me pause. As we're walking through, you will see the fabulous Encanto topiary. And I'll tell you all that the Flower and Garden Festival at EPCOT is so amazing because there's nothing but beautiful flowers and topiaries all over the park. And in addition to that, they have some great food, and it's all themed around the Flower and Garden Festival. So I highly, if you're ever able to come out to Orlando, come to Disney, come during this time. The festival's been going on for quite some time now, and I want to say that it's going to run through, maybe I think it was June 1st. Check me on those dates, but it's a perfect time of year because it hasn't gotten so incredibly hot. It's actually been like chilly in the evenings, although I think we're comfortably settling into full-blown summer here in Orlando because it is going to be hot. The past few evenings, I've been wearing like a crew neck sweater because it's been getting down to like the 60s, which is awesome. But now it's like in the 70s. And then I think even for future forecasting, it's going to be going into the 90s. So we are launching past spring, full on summer here in Orlando. But going back to 90 Day Fiance Last Resort, so they're there to try to save their marriage. And all of these people are a hot mess. Okay, like most of these couples probably shouldn't be together, but you know, it's giving us entertainment value, their messiness, their instability. And with the season wrapping up and them doing a reunion, I would say of the cast, Gino and Jasmine are just like quintessentially doomed. Like they were doomed from the start, so to speak. And if you are unfamiliar with Jasmine, Jasmine is from Panama. She is a fiery Latina. And Gino is just, I don't even know if I can say anything nice about Gino in terms of how he's depicted on the television show. Gino is, I think he reminds me of one of those husbands that I think for Jasmine, this is my perspective, he was her ticket to getting a green card. I don't really think he offered her anything. Perhaps there was some love there before, but it became very evident that their personalities were just not a fit. Jasmine is fiery. She likes to be out and about. And, you know, she loves to be social. And Gino, while I think he's social, he's also very comfortable just staying at home all day. I think even in 90 Day Fiance, and you all that are fans of the show, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that he even at one point quit his job without telling Jasmine. And I'm like, I don't know what would possess you to do that, because anyone that you marry that is not a U.S. citizen, if you're going for a visa with them, you have to be able to support them financially because they don't have the appropriate authorization to work in the U.S. So anyway, their marriage was just doomed from the start, I think, because of differences in opinion. And one of the things that they frequently clashed on beyond like intimacy, like Jasmine craved intimacy from Gino, and Gino just wasn't about that life, which I thought was weird. I'm like, how do you marry? Like, Jasmine is gorgeous. And I'm like, you don't even want to hug your wife or anything. It's just really crazy and messed up. But anywho, so let me tell you all what ended up happening during the last resort. So Jasmine talked Gino into an open marriage. And one of the therapists on the last resort, who is a part of like the polyamory community, had said, like, listen, if you're going to do an open marriage, the only way this is going to be successful is if you both are in agreement and in alignment with how it's going to work. You set up ground rules. You have to be very communicative, all of that, right? This is not a band-aid to fix your marriage. Well, I think because Jasmine really wanted to have that intimacy that she wasn't getting with Gino, she just didn't really, I think, approach it from a sense of like thoughtfulness to like, hey, I already have someone I want to have an open relationship with. We're good friends. Like, let's, you know, pursue this. And people were concerned. Let's pause there. Take a look at Norway. So we passed by the Mexico Pavilion, for those of you all that are unfamiliar, and Norway is so cute. This is where the Frozen ride is located, for those of you all that may be unfamiliar. And Frozen is a lot of fun. What'd you say, Whitney?
The crowd doesn't look like it's busy for Frozen line.
I know. That's like, my sister was just commenting that Frozen typically is like an extremely popular attraction, but the line actually didn't look too bad. I would say, like, yes, it's busy, it's crowded, but we're post, I think, spring break. We're past, I think, that month. And so while it is busy, it is not as crazy, which is, I think, another point. I love coming out here during like an evening on a weekday versus the weekends. The weekends are brutal across all the Disney parks, but here in the evenings, it's quite lovely. And we are making our way through China. So going back, like people had a lot of people, by people I mean the cast members on 90 Day Fiance, had a lot to say about this open marriage because they just knew it wasn't going to work out. Fast forward, at the reunion, Jasmine is pregnant. She is pregnant with the person that she had the open relationship with, which everyone knew was going to happen because they had this connection and everyone knew that it was going to break the rules of what Gino thought this relationship would be. And so she shows up to the reunion pregnant, which I thought was, like, from my perspective, incredibly brave, because she could have just have made the choice to not show up. As a matter of fact, I have found when it comes to these reality shows, if there's ever a contestant that's in hot water, they will, depending on how bad the controversy is, they may make the decision to not show up to these reunions because they don't want that heat, they don't want that smoke. Welcome. I see that we have a few more people entering into the live stream. If you are new here, welcome to our Walk and Talk Wednesdays with Java and Journeys with Jillian. We are talking all things reality TV, more specifically 90 Day Fiance. And it is okay if you have not watched the show, just enjoy the views. If you have any comments, drop down in the chat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And we're going to keep it moving. Yes, Judy. So she shows up pregnant, and it was shocking for the cast to see that. And I think eventually in social media, it came out that she was expecting and everyone knew it wasn't Gino's and all that. So the thing that I found very triggering, and just for the part one of the reunion, both triggering and also just a complete hot mess, is the fact that the name calling was out of this world. So Jasmine ends up getting into it with Rob. Rob, who is another cast member who has a failed marriage with another cast member, Sophie, again, 90 Day Fiance. Rob, to give you some backstory, he gets into this horrible argument with Jasmine. And if you watch other YouTubers that comment and talk about recaps of 90 Day Fiance, you'll hear them say that he obviously is triggered by something. What he's triggered by, none of us exactly know, but we can speculate, right? He's probably triggered because he has had affairs with his wife, which is part of the reason why the relationship didn't work out. And he wasn't able to do that in the guise of an open marriage and having this arrangement. And a lot of people kind of speculate that he just hates women. So it wasn't even about the fact that he was trying to be there to support Gino, and that's why he was getting into it. That was part of it. But even more so, he just wanted a reason to go off on Jasmine because he carries a lot of animosity for her because she's very loud, she's outspoken. She, I think did what he wished he could do, which is be in an open relationship. And so, yeah, they get into a horrible, horrible argument. And we are passing by the German pavilion. And Judy, you may have an appreciation for this, being born in Germany, but this is what the German pavilion looks like. Very cute. And what I love about this pavilion is that they have the best caramel popcorn and caramel treats. So anyway, Rob and Jasmine go back and forth. And the thing that was, I think, very inappropriate about their back and forth, it just crosses so many lines. So Rob ends up calling Jasmine, like, he's like, oh, you're a pregnant WHORE, and all type of hoes and such, calling her this. And it just was crossing the line. So of course Jasmine gets triggered. She calls him a clown. I actually think she called him a clown, but he called her a pregnant WHORE. I don't know if YouTube will demonetize if you say certain words too many times. So I'm going to be spelling things out or rhyming with things if you all catch my drift. And so they go back and forth. She ends up throwing her high heel at him. And a lot of people are like, well, she could have hurt him. True, she could have hurt him, but also I believe that you should not put anyone in a position where they have to react like that. No one, like, I don't condone like a reaction to be violent reaction if you're just like exchanging words with someone. But you all know how sometimes people can say certain things that will trigger you. And, you know, she's pregnant. Rob was saying some very inappropriate things that were way out of line. So the whole time they're going back and forth, and it's like, you know, this like, oh, you're a hoe, you're this, you're that. And this theme kept running through, because even with another couple, Brandon and Julia, they're married, and Brandon was commenting on one of the episodes saying that, you know, Julia was dancing like a hoe. And I'm just like, what is this with like men calling women like hoes and such because of the way they dress or because they are sexually fluid or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, especially when it's coming from your husband, y'all, I could go on and on for days. Like, you don't need to watch the whole show. I mean, you can if you want, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend, like, check out the recaps. And the whole thing was messy. Sean Robinson, who is the host of like the reunions for 90 Day Fiance, I don't know that Sean did the greatest job, like, mediating on that. And not that she needs to get in between anyone. That's not her job. Like, security definitely came out on set, but I think she should have just cut that off right from the beginning and say, absolutely not. We're not going to use that kind of language, and absolutely not. We're going to keep our hands to ourselves. And that's kind of sad. You have to tell grown people how to act and behave, but it is what it is when it comes to these reality shows. And y'all, I just want to let you all know this pavilion is where they have a lot of great shows. The last couple times I've been here, the music has been fire. So this is another thing I love about these festivals, is that they oftentimes have some great performances. And for those of you all that are walking, how are you doing? Like, we have done a little over a mile for me. And now granted, this is my walk from the lot to here. We've put in already 1,400 steps. So we are well on our way. We're about halfway through the World Showcase here at EPCOT. I hope you're enjoying this walk and talk so far. But going back, I'm like, if I was the host of these conversations, now granted, everyone, but like Love and Hip Hop, you know, they're always beating each other up and all that. But like 90 Day Fiance hasn't quite gone there. Like, you have people like Angela, who to me has been the most like verbally violent. And if she could be physically violent, she probably would be. And I don't even know that they're allowing Angela back on this show because of just who she is and how she behaves. But either way, y'all, it's just like, I think sometimes, and this is why when it comes to reality TV, even though, you know, I love a good reality show, I love mindless television, especially when you've been working a long day, and you just want something that's like thoughtless and fun, right? But some of these reality shows, like, it's just people fighting and arguing about the same stuff. Like Jasmine and Gino, their back and forth has been going on, but now it's just escalated to another level because Jasmine is pregnant. We are walking by the Japan pavilion, which is like one of my faves. France is a fave, and Japan is another fave of mine. How are you all doing, by the way? How are you holding up? Drop down in the comments, let me know. I hope this conversation has been engaging for you. And again, if you're like, girl, I'm not into reality television, tell me why. I would love to hear, what kind of shows do you love to watch? Drop down in the comments and share. Or are you more of a movie person, right? Like last week during our walk and talk, we talked about Snow White, the live action film, and just getting like feedback, right, from those that participated in the walk and talk about what they thought about the live action, and are they big fans of Disney live action films, or are they overdone, and does Disney need to start really dipping back into their creative bag when it comes to film? So for me, I'm like, because my sister and I, we are, and I'm still a huge fan of Married to Medicine, but even that show we've had to put on the back burner a little bit because it's just like, it gets too much when these ladies keep arguing and fighting, or contestants or cast members keep arguing and fighting about the exact same thing. But y'all, I just thought the Gino and Jasmine thing was crazy, and I almost was like, Jasmine, girl, you gotta calm down. You are pregnant. Your baby can feel all of that. Like, when you are reacting and you're cutting up, like, your baby feels that. I've never been pregnant, y'all. This is just what I've heard, right? Word on the street is that your baby can feel everything. So those of you all who are pregnant, You'll have to tell me if that is in fact like your experience. Those of you all that have had kids. And we were passing by Morocco, and you'll see the amazing belly dancers and the show that's going on. Quite entertaining. A lot of fun. So, continuing on, I think that there have been some people that have been saying like, oh, Jasmine should be kicked off the show. Honestly, there's a few of them that should be kicked off just because I feel like their storyline is done. I am actually curious to see what happens to Jasmine though, so I actually don't think I want her to be kicked off. But I don't think that, again, especially when you come to this, like the thing that I find that's so funny, and again though, it's reality TV, they're trying to make it entertaining because what are we doing? We're talking about it, right? We're watching. But the thing that I think is hilarious is I'm like, for example, the going back and forth between Rob and Jasmine, I'm like, Jasmine, you are allowing this man to push your buttons. Like, he knows the right words to say to trigger you, to get you upset. You are pregnant. Please sit down, Miss Mamas. Sit down, have a seat, chill. Like, it's okay for you to be upset, be angry, to disagree with him, but chill. Like, you have life growing inside you. Be calm. But I think Rob, like, he made some points, but I also think the going back and forth and calling her a lady of the night, to put it, and especially being like, F that baby, I don't care. And I'm just like, sir, this baby has nothing to do with the decisions that its parents decided to make. And it's just so inappropriate and uncalled for. And Gino sat there like the lack of a man that he is, and basically just allow Rob, who has nothing to do with that relationship that he has with his soon-to-be ex-wife. Rob has nothing to do with it. And I'm like, Gino, you need to stand up for yourself, bro. Like, you need to stand up for yourself. Y'all, for example, my co-producer, aka husband, thank God. Like, let me also say to the young folks out there, or to anyone, that it's like, if you're super invested in reality TV, and you have to be careful about how sometimes watching this reality TV doesn't like trigger your emotions, or you start emulating some of the behaviors you see depicted. But I'm like, none of this, a lot of the relationships we see on reality TV are not healthy. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And like, my co-producer and I have certainly had our fair share of disagreements, but it's never gotten to a point where we are like cussing each other out, where we're about to like beat each other up. Like, it's never gotten to that point. It's never okay to get to that point in a relationship. You can disagree, you can disagree respectfully. You can even be heated, but like to verbally like assault your partner is just not productive, and it's not going to help you out. So please take my word for it. Do not think that what you see on reality TV, to my young folks out there, that is at all an indication of what a healthy, successful relationship looks like. That ain't it. That ain't it. You don't want that. Trust me when I say it, you don't want it. So I think that seeing that interaction, seeing this failed open marriage, which I do think for some people maybe that works out for them, but I'm like, in that specific situation, we all knew that it was doomed to fail because it wasn't set on the right foundation. But I'm definitely like, Jasmine, girl, you need to calm down. So something else that I have pointed out in my description, I'm not a huge watcher of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but shifting to a different show, Garcelle, who a lot of y'all may be familiar with. Garcelle, she's an actress. When I first saw Garcelle, this was on the Jamie Foxx show like years ago. Here I am aging myself. This was like in the early 2000s. And Garcelle is amazing. She's on like Survival of the Thickest on Netflix, but she has been in so many films and shows. And she, you all who are into like the Real Housewives franchise, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say she was the first Black woman to be like full-time on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And Garcelle recently announced that she's going to leave the show, which I don't blame her, because Garcelle is booked and busy. And y'all, sorry, my phone was doing some wonky things there, but she is booked and busy. She does not really need that show. Like, some of the ladies need that Bravo check. Garcelle does not. honey, Garcelle has it going on. And I think some of the things that she has been going through as a Black woman on a predominantly white cast, especially wealthy cast at that, well, some of them used to be wealthy, Erica Jane. I don't blame her for being like, I'm taking a walk back. So I get the impression that Garcelle is someone who's definitely missed. She's gotten a lot of love, a lot of shout outs from like Andy Cohen, who of course is like an executive producer, a lot of like top executives actually, and just housewives and people. So she's a fan favorite. Everyone loves her. And I think it was truly shocking for a lot of people to see that Garcelle was getting the boot. So I cannot wait to see what else Garcelle is going to do and her getting out of that toxic workplace. But I thought that was interesting. If there are any reality shows that you're watching and you're invested in it, let me know. Let me know. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what shows you're truly invested in right now. I am personally looking forward to, what is the show, Whitney, 600 Pound Sisters? Or is it 1,000 Pounds? I'm looking forward to that. They're about to kick off that new season. That's going to be a hot mess. Like I said, sometimes I'll watch Married to Medicine. We'll see. And I'm trying to think if there are any other reality shows I am truly looking forward to, because they're a hot mess. I will say this is a pivot from the reality shows, but y'all, did you catch the tea that Amazon is trying to buy TikTok? I can't. Like, let's talk about that. This is a pivot from the reality TV chat, but I wanted to shout this out. And of course, with this being late breaking news in terms of when I found out about it, I would have added this as another topic in the description. But unfortunately, I was not able to update that in enough time before hopping on this live stream. But y'all, my co-producer was telling me that Amazon has put in a bid. Of course, Facebook, at least I've heard rumors. I wouldn't be shocked if they've also put in a bid for TikTok. And I'm like, no. Like, I think part of the reason why, at least in the US, we're in the situation that we're in right now, no matter your political affiliation, I think that a lot of us can at least agree, or at least I would hope that we can agree on the fact that a lot of these corporations are acquiring way too much. Like, I don't know the laws behind monopolies and corporate monopolies, but I'm like, this is getting out of hand. This is getting so out of hand. I think there should be a cap, especially once a corporation has hit a certain economic threshold. No, baby, you can't acquire anything else, because pretty soon you are going to become a monopoly. We have monopolies here in the US, and these corporations are driving a lot of the policies and the things that are going on, and the CEOs behind them. Like, it is what it is, sis. Like, that's what's happening here in the US. And so when my co-producer, aka husband, was like, oh my God, Amazon are throwing their hat in the ring to buy TikTok, and I was like, I hope they don't let that happen, because Amazon already has like their massive marketplace. They have Amazon Prime, which is their own thing in-house, to be fair to them. They acquired Whole Foods. So they're in the grocery game, right? And they have Twitch. Baby, what more do you want? Like, no, this has to stop. And knowing what people say in terms of the culture at Amazon, I'm just like, this is not like, TikTok doesn't even come across. Like, if I had to pick between the two evils, I would just say put TikTok at Facebook, because at least Facebook Meta is built off of social media. Amazon is not. Like, I always thought it was weird that they decided to buy Twitch in the first place, but I know they also have Luna, which is like their game streaming services. So Amazon is just trying to get their hands in everything. I'm not even mad about it, because they're doing what they can to stay relevant, right? And to stay in the game. But y'all, I'm just like, no, what do you think? Do you think, from your perspective, that Amazon should buy TikTok? Is there a company or a corporation that you think should own TikTok? TikTok should just be its own thing. And I hope that they figure out the privacy laws, but that's like a whole nother like conversation in terms of like who has access to our data, because Lord knows that it seems like a lot of these corporations have no issue selling off our data to the highest bidder. And so I don't know, my ignorant opinion of this, I shouldn't say ignorant, my limited opinion of this is that I'm like, does it really matter if China can access my data if you all are just comfortable and okay with letting some of anybody access my data? Like, I think we need to also figure that part out and why that's allowed. But you all have like this whole issue with China, right? It's madness. It's madness here, y'all, in the US. So to combat that madness, look at this little piece of heaven here at EPCOT. We're looking out at, I want to say, I think this is called the Friendship Lagoon. The sun is setting. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Y'all know how I feel. EPCOT is my favorite park.
Tonight at 9 o'clock, we invite you to join us.
And of course, they're making an announcement for Luminous, which is an interesting fireworks show, to say the least. Not my favorite. It's a bit somber.
When our voices sound together in a symphony of human connection.
Hopefully, we're finishing this announcement here soon. But look at how beautiful this is. And y'all, our time has come to a close. We're hitting that 30-minute mark. We've made a full loop around World Showcase. And y'all, we have covered over a mile. So my goal with these walk and talks it's like twofold. One is to get a chance to connect with you all on a topic. And also to just show you the views of Disney. If there are any topics that you would like for me to cover on our Walk and Talk Wednesdays, let me know. Drop down in the comments, tag your girl. Based on the topic, and especially if I feel like I am knowledgeable enough to carry on a conversation about it, we could certainly do that. And we see our friend Remy, who just briefly said hello on my shoulder. But I hope you all are having a great evening. And listen, no matter your favorite reality show, whether you are a 90 Day Fiance person and you have opinions about Trifling Ass Rob and Jasmine. I don't believe Jasmine is trifling, but I do think she's a bit calculated. I think she's more calculated than what she's letting on. But, you know, of course, we don't know these people personally. Or maybe you love Married to Medicine, or maybe you love 1,000 Pound Sisters, or whatever the case may be. I think watch something that brings you joy, that entertains you in a healthy way. Really, what am I talking about? None of these reality shows are really healthy, if we could be real. A lot of them aren't. But you know what I mean? If it gives you a chance to just break off from the chaos of the world, the chaos of your jobs and the responsibilities, because we're all going through it in different ways. And especially right now, I mean, we're approaching some uncharted territory when it comes to economic stability and all that. That's my humble opinion. You may disagree with me, and that's okay. But the point is that it's important that you figure out what is something that brings you peace and calm. And for me, that's taking a walk here at Disney, that's talking with you all, that's doing my streaming on the side. That is what I love to do to bring some joy in my life. So I hope you're able to find that. Keep me posted. Stay with me for the next walk and talk when we go live next Wednesday. We'll see what the location will be, TBD. But if there's a particular Disney park that you're like, girl, can you do more of this park? Let me know. EPCOT's my favorite, but I am not ashamed to go to Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom has early hours, so I don't know if we'll ever actually be able to hit up Animal Kingdom anytime soon. Maybe they're able to extend their hours and we're able to catch it on the right day. And then, of course, there's Magic Kingdom. Though Magic Kingdom makes me break out in hives because it's so crowded and busy. If you all are like, girl, do more walk and talks at Magic Kingdom, then Magic Kingdom it will be. I hope you have a great evening. I'll catch you on the next journey. See ya.